I've worked in finance for over a decade now, and I'd say debt recycling is probably one of the, I guess, biggest no-brainers for people that want to invest and have a mortgage. But unfortunately, it can be difficult to implement, and you do see people read things online, which there's lots of good content out there, but there's just so many different places where you can make a mistake. That's what led me, obviously, to put together this course. And there's two kind of aspects to it. So initially, I made the course, and as you can see here on my screen, that this is what the course looks like, and there's all different videos that go amongst it. But I also created a worksheet, and the aim of the worksheet is to capture your situation and just prompt any kind of common areas where I see customers make a mistake. So the most common area where I see people make mistakes is usually around mixed loans. So with debt recycling, that you just need to really make sure that any funds that you borrow that are invested directly into that investment, and you don't want to take any detours for that. And similarly, you want to make sure that those borrowed funds, that there's not kind of a loan there that's mixed, because then it can just make it confusing in terms of, well, what can I actually claim? And you obviously don't want to overclaim anything and get in trouble from the ATO. So as I mentioned, you can see the course here and you can see all the different modules here. So obviously just reminding you about what debt recycling is, what the benefits are, understanding your situation, structure your debt, investing, summarizing all of that, and then obviously the recycling part in terms of it being an ongoing process and just repeating it. So you can see here, like the green here, you can see it, like you can see the spreadsheet. So I'll just click through to the spreadsheet just here. And you can see here, this is what the actual spreadsheet looks like. So it aims to capture your situation. So if we just go through it here, so if this person's, let's say it's a single person earning $150,000, no spouse, and let's say that they're saving $20,000 annually, and so that's a portion that they could potentially invest. So everything's kind of automated. So you can see as we go through, kind of ask questions and it updates as we go. So let's say this person, they have $1 million home. Let's keep it round. And let's say within that home, let's say they don't have a current share portfolio, but it obviously takes that into account. And let's say that they have $130,000 in their offset account. Let's say that they have a $500,000 mortgage. And then obviously you need to confirm the borrowing capacity with broker. Sorry, just made a mistake up there. We obviously don't want it, we want it to be $150,000 for that. So yeah, as you can see, it flows through down to the bottom. So you can see if anything's out of whack or anything like that. So just looking here, that then it's kind of estimated borrowing capacity, but you'll see in a moment that there's a letter to send through to a broker to try and get them to confirm that. But let's say here that it's $750,000. So then it'll calculate the usable equity based on that figure here. So you have $250,000 that you could potentially invest. So we said there's no share portfolio. Let's say that there's $30,000 of an emergency fund that we want to keep. So obviously you don't want to invest everything if that's for you. There's no science to how much you should invest. And I go into this more in the actual course, obviously. But this person here, they have $100,000 they want to invest, and they're not borrowing to invest, or they're not increasing their overall debt load. So let's say that they choose that $100,000 there and $60,000 there, in terms of like $20,000 every year and $60,000 over the next 3 years. So it prompts like, you don't want to debt recycle, or usually don't want to debt recycle if you currently have a home that might be turned into an investment property. So there's all little kind of tricks where the spreadsheet obviously tries to capture that, and it'll just make sure that you're not going to make a mistake that you might regret. So in this situation, let's say that no, so it's all clear for debt recycling. And also similarly, whether a trust is appropriate. So it kind of does that modeling, whether like the cost of a trust in terms of the ongoing maintenance and setup, if that justifies it, like the tax savings thereafter. So here it says individual. So you can see here that it actually updates, so it gives instructions in terms of the different splits for this situation. And similarly, like where there's like leftover funds, it prompts that. So you can kind of think throughout the worksheet. Anything grey, that's kind of an input. So if there's funds left over in the brokerage account, that will kind of, let's say there's $20 left, that will prompt that to make sure that you're not going to be claiming 100%. So in this case, it's 99.98 or close enough. So then there's the investing portion. So for this person, whether they want to dollar cost average or just invest that, and obviously go into that more. So if they were to dollar cost average, kind of just gives an instruction around that. And obviously the course has specific investments. And then here you can see the summary. So this is interactive. So based on your situation, gives a step-by-step guide for that, as well as showing the benefit just up here. And then once all that's said and done, kind of gives a script, like a draft to send through to your broker. And it actually, like if you click this link here, it will actually generate like a PDF that you can just attach that, which if we open that just here, we can see that that was the summary from that previous screen. So there's no, I guess, copy and pasting or potential areas where you could make a mistake. So that then it's a case of obviously that's the first instance, but then after 12 months, when you come back to do that $20,000, it gives instructions at that point in time for the ongoing process and different transactions between offsets if redraws aren't possible, and just every different instance where you can make a mistake. If you have any questions, sing out and I'll answer any questions on the email.